Hi, Patrick. Thank you for coming in for the interview today with the Los Angeles Kings. Let's get straight to business. My first question to you is tell me about a job. Tell me about your last job and how it prepared you for this one.
So my last job was a summer internship I just had with ArtsQuest, which is a nonprofit in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And with them, I worked with the largest free music festival in America, known as Music Fest. And that really helped prepare me for any other job I have, just because it's such a fast-paced festival environment in which I had to do multiple different things at one time. So it really helped me learn how to multitask, how to work well with other coworkers, and how to rely on each other to make sure everything goes smoothly and everyone has a great experience.
Okay. So tell me about your involvement in activities during college. I see that you went to Kutztown University. Is that correct?
Yes, I went to Kusan University in Pennsylvania, and one of my involvements was Sigma Alpha Epsilon, which is a fraternity on campus. I was very involved with that. I started out as community service chair and community outreach, so I did a lot of organizing of how to go out and do different efforts in the community, like community cleanups. I went to an elderly home and did bingo and stuff like that with them. And we'd also just go around and do some other charitable works. And then I worked my way up as a sophomore to becoming the president of the chapter. And that has really given me a lot of leadership experience. It's taught me how to lead a group of guys that can be a little bit rambunctious and, you know, butt heads a lot, and how to just stay cool, how to lead them, and how to really get the most out of everyone. And taught me how, when you're a leader, that you got to ride or die for the guys that you have, as well as you got to make sure that you know how to communicate with everyone, because everyone communicates differently. So there are some guys that you need to communicate one way, which isn't going to work for another guy. So I learned a lot about how to lead and how to stay cool in different situations, and also ultimately how to make decisions that are best for, in this case, the fraternity rather than what's best for myself and my friends.
I like it. Okay, so my next question to you is then, what accomplishments are you most proud of at this moment, and why is?
Probably the accomplishment that I'm most proud of at this moment is probably my grades, just because my parents have always been on me about, getting good grades, as probably every parent is. But I really do put a lot into my studies, and to see it reflect well with my GPA is something that I'm really proud of.
Okay. Now, I'm seeing from your resume and also from what you have told me that your college is in Kutztown, PA. Are you still a local resident of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, so I actually live in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up. So, yeah.
Okay. So my follow-up question for that is, do you have any geographic restrictions? Are you willing to relocate because you know the job is located in Los Angeles?
Yeah, so as soon as I graduate, which would be in the spring of 2020, um, I will be looking to relocate to LA. I have an uncle that lives a little bit outside of LA, so I'll probably live with him for a bit until I get my legs up and start moving.
Okay. Now, can you tell me three of your strengths?
My first strength would probably be my communication, just because I articulate myself in a way that I make sure everyone knows what's happening, everyone is on the same page, and also on the other side of communication, I make sure I listen and understand things before I speak. Um, my second strength would probably be my quick decision making. I'm able to make up decisions real quick if they need to be made in like a certain instance or second. I'm able to evaluate everything real quick and just kind of figure it out and get it done. And then my third strength is definitely meeting deadlines. I make sure I put all my time into my work and make sure I get it done in time to meet every required deadline.
Okay, that's good to know because working for the Kings is a very fast-paced job. Now, with that being said, do you prefer to work alone or do you prefer to work in a group?
I prefer to work with teams, just because I think everyone working together is a great collaborative effort that helps everything run a lot more smooth. and it's not one person having so much on their plate. It's everyone can play a role and everyone can help each other out.
All right. Okay. So then, how how do you deal with stress? This job is fast paced, constantly moving. You never know when you're going to get a call to come in. So, how would you say you deal with your stress right now?
The way I deal with stress is honestly, I just take some time for some self care. I like watching movies a lot and watching TV, so I'll just chill in like my living room or in my room and just binge a show or watch a couple movies and just be completely relaxed while eating maybe some ice cream or something.
All right, I love it. Okay. So, can you tell me about a recent project that you had?
Yeah, so a recent project I had was something called Boxer Trot, which is for my fraternity. And what that is I did it last spring. So every spring semester at Kutztown, we host it, and it's it's like a mini marathon, I'd say, where we raise money for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So it's my job to really organize it all. So I had to organize that. I had to get sponsors for the event to help us with money. Had to come up with a shirt design and boxer design, get both of those made, sell those, and then as well as get people to sign up to run, just raise as much money as possible. And we were able to raise over $5,000 with that.
Congratulations. Okay. Well, then this is kind of going left, but let's talk about adversities that you have faced. Can you tell me what is the most difficult situation you think you've ever had to face?
The most difficult situation I've ever had to face would definitely be um, would have to be my senior year of high school. Um, we were playing. I was playing on the soccer team, and we were, we had a great regular season. We were undefeated, and we were going into the playoffs. And our first game, we were down 1-0, and I just kept getting beat down the sideline by this one kid on the other team. So my coach pulled me for a freshman, and we ended up winning that game, and I ended up sitting out the rest of the playoffs, which was definitely difficult for me, just because it was my senior year, and we started going really far in the playoffs. Even though it was best for the team, for me it was difficult, but I was able to still stick with it, and I gave the freshman some tips on how he could improve and what would work against certain teams. Just because some of the teams that we did play, we played previously, and I was in when we played them, so I gave him some tips on how to beat the guys on the other team, and it was rough, but it was something that I was able to do and help the team win anyway. So.
Sounds like some great unselfishness right there. Okay, let's talk about time management skills. How are your time management skills?
My time management skills are pretty strong. I always budget out my days, budget out my time, just to make sure I have time to do everything I need to do, and then time to do things I would like to do. So I definitely get what I need to be done first, and then I go out and do whatever I want.
Okay. I see from your resume that you have a minor in public relations from Kutztown. What made you pursue this, and how do you feel that you're learning? Well, no, let me just ask you that first question. Well, what made you pursue a minor in PR?
I just felt like it would make me a more well-rounded individual, just because it helped me learn certain strategies and techniques on how to deal with certain issues that may arise while working for a company. How to answer to certain questions that you may be asked. Like an example would be, why did this happen, or who is in charge of this? There's those kind of things. How to answer and keep a good face and a good front for a company.
Okay. Now, how do you feel your learning experience from KU has made you a great candidate for this job?
I feel like Kutztown really gives us a great foundation that we can build upon with internships. So the foundation is definitely set through our education. And they do a great job getting us professors that are highly qualified. And then on top of that, they make sure that we go out and we get an internship. and gaining an internship is really what gives you the experience that you need. And I feel like combining my foundations from the university along with the experiences I've had has really made me a well-rounded candidate and the right candidate for this position.
Okay. Now, at your last job, how did you know that you were fitting in well? Did you feel as though you were fitting in well, or did you feel like you needed a new start in a different company?
I feel like I fit in real well, especially with the coworkers I work closely with in the corporate sponsorship department. We'd always had like inside jokes, and we'd always hang out. And then along with the other interns, we'd always hang out. We'd go and get lunch together all the time, and we would just talk about, we just talk about anything.
Okay. And this is going to be my last question. Do you feel as though, well, no, scratch that. If someone had to describe you within 1 to 3 words, what would they say?
I think they would say highly motivated and loyal. And my reason for that is I'm highly motivated to achieve any goal that I set my mind to, and I make sure that I achieve those goals. And I'm not going to let anything stop me until I achieve everything I want, as well as I'm loyal almost to a fault. I will always ride or die for the people I'm loyal to, and I'll always back them in any situation. And I'll always make sure that, I keep everyone's best interest in mind.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, one question I do have is I know the company the Kings works for. I know you guys also work with the Lakers and the Clippers. And I was wondering if I were to start with the Kings, if there would be any way for me to either move up in the Kings organization or move up in one of those two other organizations.
Now, with the position, it does start as an internship. However, depending on your work skills and how well you do, there is a huge possibility that you can move up in the rankings, as long as our partnerships with the Lakers and the Clippers as well, we can possibly set up something for you to, keep going forward and keep pushing up. So, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, just one more question. Do you know about how long it will take for me to hear back a response from you guys?
You should hear within the next week if you have the internship or not.
All right, thank you.
The rest of our candidates.
All right, sounds great. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right. Well, you have a great day, Patrick, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you soon.
All right, thanks. You as well.